Fog Racing back. We are F1 2022. Driver predictions. We're going to split up the constructors because I feel like you kind of have to talk about both at the same time if you include them both in the same fids, and it kind of turns into a clusterfuck. So you know what? We're just going to split them, and this is our drivers. We have 20 drivers on the grid. Of course, there hasn't been a job or team wung in there. Pre-season testing is done.
It's that time of the year again where we make horrible predictions and get it deadly wrong. But aye, we'll try our best.
And that is it, guys, right? But we're going to kick off who we've both got in at 20th place. I've got Gon Hujo, and you have Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, one of us paid more attention to testing than the other.
You can probably guess. Well, I don't think it's out the question that Mick Schumacher can finish last, but I just feel like Haas look better than Alpha, and that is my reasoning behind Gon Hujo. And Gon Hujo's a rookie. He's pish. He's no the son of Michael. You can kind of see where I'm going with that.
Aye.
Do you think your Schumacher is warranted in there?
I'll probably tell you more after the first couple of races, but from what I've seen based on last year,
But next up,
pish, and I would fancy Magnussen to beat Schumacher, so that's why I put Schumacher last.
Exactly. So next up in 19th and 18th, I've went with Latifi and Albon, the two Williams boys. This is actually this has really got nothing to do with Williams. I just feel like Latifi's pish and Albon.
It's not great.
No, exactly. He, on the other hand, has got Magnussen in 19th. So you're really praying that Haas are pish.
Yeah, okay, just going to ask that. Yeah, basically, pretty much. Yeah.
And then above that, you've got Latifi and Albon, just like me. And then I've got Schumacher above that. So basically, we've managed to fill everyone in there, apart from I've got a bit Schumacher a little bit higher up. Meanwhile, though, in 16th place, you've went with a 4-time world champion. I've went with a 5-time bottler in Valtteri Bottas. I'll be shocked if Bottas finishes in the top 10 in the drivers. Will you not? See a guy who's zero racecraft in a team that at best is going to be in the midfield, and you have to constantly be overtaken and shit. It's a recipe for disaster for Valtteri Bottas. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this show guy beats him.
Even at Williams, like, I mean, he was fast, but
I can't remember one Bottas overtake at Williams.
Yeah.
Or Mercedes for that matter. Like, but yeah, both in at 16 there for Vettel and Bottas. Meanwhile, Stroll is in at 15 for me. I've got Vettel in at 14th. Meanwhile, though, he's got Yuki in 15th. So you're just predicting another shite season from Yuki Tsunoda.
I didn't rate him last season, and I'm not going to change my mind on that. I don't expect him to be any better. I think Gasly will outperform Yuki Tsunoda again. I think the AlphaTauri is like, I just think it's going to be a mid-table car. And I think Gasly will outperform it.
I mean, I've got Yuki in at 13th, so a similar area here.
I think Tsunoda will underperform it, so...
Yeah, and I mean, for the Aston Martin drivers, I've got Stroll in 15th, I've got Vettel in 14th, you've got Vettel in 16th, but you've got Stroll in 13th. They're both pish.
No, I mean, I know Vettel beat him last year, but, I mean, I think, if you look back, I think Vettel's high-place finishes were a bit fluky, to be fair. I thought Stroll was more consistent. I think overall Stroll scored more points finishes than Vettel. It's just Vettel happened to get the higher points finishes, but I mean, if you look back at the races, was it anything particularly great that Vettel done? Not really. He happened to be on strategies where he stayed out longer and he fluked into a couple of good positions. That's not me taking away credit. That's literally what happened. I think this season,
apart from Monaco, that was literally. I think Monaco was actually a good drive for Vettel. It was good strategy by Aston.
But I think if everything gets played out equally, and like none of them gain a massive chunk of points, I would expect Stroll to outscore Vettel. So that's why I put Stroll above him.
Absolutely. Into our top 11 now, because we've basically covered the bottom 5 teams apart from Gasly, because he's kind of in with the big boys. Because we're kind of predicting here that Alpine, because they've got the strongest driver lineup in the midfield, and we feel like they're going to be up here. But in at 11th, I've went with Danny Rick, you've went with Esteban Ocon. My reasoning for Ricardo is I don't think last season was a blip. I think Ricardo, I wouldn't say he's over the hill, but I think he's overrated. I think, he beat Vettel. Yeah, he kept his way with Verstappen. But you've got to factor stuff in, right? Vettel's, I think, not even since that season, Vettel was gifted a car that was fucking...
Far superior.
Yeah. So, I mean, see this
more
whole...
suited to him than Webber.
Right?
I mean.
And then you've also got to factor in, Max has been good since he's came, but Max has got better and better.
Yeah. If you actually look at it, like, I mean, at the
Max
start,
was very wrong green when he was with Ricardo.
yeah, but even towards the end, when Ricardo left Red Bull, you could see that Max was beginning to. I mean, it was really reliability that was stopping Max, and we always questioned why was Ricardo leaving Red Bull at the time, and maybe that's the answer. Maybe he wanted to be world champion, and I know it seems a bit stupid, but maybe he thought, "There's no way I'm going to be world champion in this team against him."
I know.
So he took a chance at a Renault drive. Now he's at McLaren. But
No,
nah,
no, no, it's weird though if you think of it, right? See, in like the 2000s, who took risks on teams and then they ended up just stuck in the midfield? Like, Kimi leaves McLaren to go to Ferrari, it works. Alonso leaves Renault to go to McLaren. Alright, it doesn't work, but the team is still quick. You know what I mean? See, like, in this era of, like, the hybrid era, all these drivers have moved teams and none of it's fucking paid off. Apart from Hamilton.
he's the only guy that really benefited.
Which kind of sums it up, like, but you've went with Ocon in 11th, I've went with Ocon in 10th. Again, I feel like Esteban Ocon, he's good, but he's not better than Alonso, and the Alpine's not going to carry him any higher than that. Meanwhile, we've got Gasly in at 9th for me, you've got him in at 10th. I'm just feeling like the AlphaTauri will be good, but he can't carry it that far up in the order. Meanwhile, though, I had Ricardo in 11th, you had him in at 9. And then after this is where we get very similar, because in at 8th place, we've got the 2-time world champ, Fernando. A lot of hype going into this season about him because, it's the rule change, but it looks like Alpine are pish.
I know, I mean, as much as I would love to put Alonso higher, I just don't see him getting anywhere near the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
The obviously top 3 teams, in my opinion, will be Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, not particularly in that order, like, but I think they'll be the top 3 teams. And I expect McLaren to be faster than Alpine. But I still think Alonso will beat one of the Alpine members, one of the McLaren members, which is why I vote him in 8th.
Yep.
But I mean, Norris was great last season, and I just expect the McLaren to be quite a bit faster than Alpine.
Yeah,
so
the McLaren looks good, but they need to fix this brake problem. You know?
Yeah.
This is the bottom line. And next up, in 7th place, you've went with Norris, I've went with Russell, and then we flip it for the other thing, because obviously I've put Norris in 6th, you've put Russell in 6th. I feel like, as of right now, Mercedes do look like the 3rd fastest car. But that doesn't mean they can't compete for fucking wins, like, I'm not buying into that logic. But I just feel like, if that is the case, Russell's new into that team, they're going to put most of their eggs in the Hamilton basket.
Yeah, I mean, I think the eggs were already going in the Hamilton
Yeah,
basket.
you know what I mean? And I just feel like with that, especially as the 3rd fastest team, and I just feel like Verstappen, Sainz, and Leclerc and Hamilton will consistently outscore Russell. But at the same time, Perez will be in the car I believe is the fastest, which kind of sums up for me that he will automatically just get more points than Russell because it's faster. That is why I've put Russell in at 7, because I just feel like Norris will be able to spry more surprises than Russell, who will just be, you know what I mean? I'm not saying the best Russell can finish is 6th, but you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
I feel like Norris produced a bunch of performances last season that he could compete with cars, and also we've got to bear in mind, yeah, there could be a clear fastest 3 teams, but the grid is going to be a lot closer than what it was. So you've got to factor shit like that in as well. Meanwhile,
plus Norris is the number 1 driver probably at McLaren, whereas Russell you expect to be the number 2.
Exactly.
That
so
can cost you points over the course of a season.
Exactly. But our top 5 is exactly the same. Starting in 5th, we've both went with Sergio Perez. I feel like this rule change will help him. I feel like the car will not... Well, I mean, it may be suited to max, but I feel like we're kind of starting from 0, so it's not going to be completely...
I think Perez had an okay... I mean, there was races where he was really good, and there was races where he was underwhelming. But I can't imagine Perez will not at least match what he done last season. And with an extra season in the Red Bull, I think he'll be better. So I expect Perez to improve on what he did last season.
Yeah,
if the Red Bull's good, I see Perez, maybe picking up another win or 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of podiums. Yeah, again, I just see him up there.
And I tell you what, with Ferrari in the mix, but looking really close to Red Bull and Mercedes maybe just a wee bit behind, they're going to need Perez for that constructors like they did last season. Like, I mean, I can see Ferrari walking this if it goes the way it goes, like the way I think it could go.
It's not like Max ain't going to...
But
Max ain't going to carry a huge, you know what I mean?
But the only thing about
portion of
Ferrari is,
points.
I feel like out of all the teams in the top three, their team, they could be the two going at each other the most.
Yeah, but they've got the
drivers.
most even drivers, so
You know what I mean?
you probably expect the Ferrari boys to take more points.
Like, I'm not
off
saying
each
Russell
other.
can't beat Hamilton, but we need more than that one race in Secure against Bottas.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. Coming in at fourth, though, Lewis is no making it 8. He's making it half 8, and that's number 4 in the drivers. Reasoning, big man. What's your reasoning behind Hamilton here?
He recently came out and he said he's changing his surname, and he's including his mother's surname into the name Hamilton. So I don't know what he's going. He doesn't know if it's going to be changed by the time we get to the first race of the season. But his mum's got some weird name, so his name is going to be Lewis. I don't know if he's got a middle name, but his surname's now going to be his mother's name / Hamilton. So he's not going to be known as Hamilton. And
That's awful.
He went on to say the reason for this is he's never quite understood why the woman must lose her name when they get married. And yeah, because he doesn't understand, he wants his mother's name to continue.
Could it not just be as simple?
He wants to pay
Why does he have to come out and say that
And it
shit?
just
Why
seems
can't he
like-
just come out and say, you know what, my mum's a major part of my
It
life,
just
and I want
seems
to put her
like
name
it
here.
just seems like, you know, Hamilton with his woke business. It's like
This is the same guy about 5 years ago came out and
boys don't
said,
wear dresses.
boys don't wear dresses. Well, you know what? Black boys don't win any more titles. You're coming fourth, brother. Anyway, third, Carlos Sainz. Woo! But the Spaniard boys, Sainz, third. I could see Sainz winning the title, but I put him third.
I could see him winning it as well, but I just think
I think he lacks the
I think-
racecraft.
I
I think the outright pace of Leclerc, he lacks. I'd say he's more consistent.
I just think competing for wins,
He has never done it.
yeah, and I just think Leclerc's, in terms of wins, Leclerc's been there, done it. Sainz hasn't. If that's a car that is racing for wins, race in, race out, I just feel like Leclerc will edge it.
Yeah,
Now, if it was a car that was just competing for podiums, and
like last season.
then I could have seen why you would put
The odd-
Sainz
the
ahead,
odd
like,
podium.
but
Exactly, but we've also got P2 coming up, and we've got Verstappen for both of us. So Verstappen's not making it back to back; he's just making it second. And,
well, according to us, but what do we know? I mean,
yeah, but that's our opinion. And then we've got a new world champion, another world champion, Charles Leclerc, and I don't know. I just feel like this is Ferrari's time.
it's their time,
They've had a lot.
son.
They've put a lot more effort into this year's car than the other teams. They've had a lot more time, a lot more money and time to spend. It's coming home to Monaco, baby. Charles Leclerc. What's your final thoughts? Is that happening? Will it be-
I think this will be Charles Leclerc's time. You know, last season I don't think was his greatest season. He'd probably admit that.
But see, another thing, if it is between Red Bull and Ferrari and say there's not much in the cars, I feel like it'll be a 2-on-1.
Yep. I mean, I think it's a big season for Leclerc. If I'm being honest, I don't think he was that great in 2020 either.
Or 2020?
Uh,
You mean 21? 2020, he was fucking brilliant. Ferrari was dog shit. He's getting podiums and all. He's best of the rest in a car that was like 400 horsepower down on the straight.
what season? What was last season?
2021.
Right,
You mean
okay.
last season?
All right. Aye.
I'm not on about last season, I'm on about the season before that.
Right, is that when he was good? All right, well.
It was alright last season. Silverstone, he near won the car, it was pish.
Well, he did. No, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him, but there's been a few people saying that he's overrated and this and that, and I think this could be his time to prove them all wrong.
Yeah, and that's what we're hitting, guys. But anyway, there's our list. Until the constructors, will we be proved wrong? I tell you what, last year we did pretty good, especially at the top end. We both predicted Max to win, and he won. Will it happen this year? Who knows? But until next time.
Peace.